Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Cal Royal number 3049HO. This is a hold-open arm used on their 40 or 441 series heavy-duty door closers. This is a typical friction type hold-open arm, and friction style means simply that there is a nut that's here. There's a wave washer, most likely, that's installed underneath here. And as the arm turns, it will get to a point. If you'll take note of the gap that's between here and here, those margins, you'll see as I turn it, those gaps close, and it gets to a point where it is held open by friction. And that's the way that a friction style hold open arm works. The degree of hold open is obviously directly related to how far this nut is turned, meaning how much gap is there. And you can adjust that to be, typical 85 degree hold open, 90 degree, 110, all the way out to, basically 180 degree, provided that your, your installation of the door frame and hardware will allow that. Friction style door holders are very common. They're they're ubiquitous. They're the most common form of hold open arms. I'm not a fan of friction style hold open arms in comparison to other types of hold open arms that might feature a ball that will have a T-handle for you to deactivate the hold open arm. I feel that there's a lot of force transferred to the door and frame itself when you're pushing a door to get it to hold open via friction, and then of course pulling it open. But they are certainly the least expensive. They certainly do work, and they are the most common. This is obviously shown in the aluminum finish. Cal Royal is going to have these available, of course, in dark bronze and gold. They can order these in custom plated finishes as well. And there is included with this a parallel arm bracket. Okay, that would be used for your push side mount. And speaking of that, you may have wondered, hey, is this, can I use this in any sort of orientation? The answer is yes. You could, of course, remove this, turn the hold open portion over, because you're only going to get the friction hold open in one way that the item is going to turn. So if you needed to do the opposite hand, you could loosen those screws, pull this forearm off, turn it over, and put it back down. That would certainly work should you need to do that. Okay, it is non-handed as a result of that. The parallel arm bracket is going to allow you to use that so that it is installed properly on a push side mount. You're going to also get a screw package which will give you all of the extra screws that you're going to need to install the arm. Now, why someone would buy only this arm? Well, you might have a door closer that you ordered with a standard arm and you need a hold open. Rather than buy an entire new arm, new door closer, you're buying the arm only. You might have an existing one that's been damaged and needs to be replaced only. If you already have a door closer installed and want to change it from a standard arm to a hold open arm, some caution is some caution should be exercised at this point regarding that. Here's what I mean. There's a link below this video to the installation instructions. And in those installation instructions, there's going to be 4 pages. The first page is just an overview page of the entire door closer sort of installation, showing just the 3 different types: standard mount, top jam mount, and then parallel arm mount. And those 3 are, of course, pages 2, 3, and 4. So exercising caution regarding buying an arm only to an existing closer means exactly this. Let's say that you're going to do a standard arm, which is on page 2. You're going to see immediately that you've got some dimensions that have to be adhered to based on the degree of opening. So there's a reference to an A dimension and, of course, a B dimension. And that is they're showing off of the the B dimension is from the jamb, the A dimension is from the edge of the door. Those are typically from the center line of the axis of pivoting, meaning the hinge pin itself. But that's follow the template: edge of door and then edge of frame. And you have to be sure that your existing installation will give you the installation that you're looking for with the new hold open arm based on the dimensions that are outlined there. So you don't want to get this arm to find out, oh, I've got to move my closer over because where it's physically installed now is incompatible with what I want to accomplish. So prior to ordering the hold open arm, review the dimensions that you're going to end up required to have so that you get the arm and you've eliminated all the guesswork whether or not it'll work for your installation. That, of course, follows for page 3, which is a top jam mount, and then page 4, which is a parallel arm mount. I don't have any tips or pitfalls to give you except that these installation instructions are very standard and very easily digestible. They're easy to review and to install. My only caveat with installing door closers is that they're always going to reference a vertical dimension, whether it's the top of the door or referencing the header. That you want to make sure you get absolutely correct. The dimension off the edge of the door or the frame horizontally, that can fluctuate slightly. The only thing that you're changing there is the degree of opening that you're going to accomplish. That may not be, a big deal for you. But if you get the dimensions vertically incorrect, what will happen is you'll have unintended conflict between the door, the arm as it opens. If you've ever opened up a door closed and you hear a large clanking sound, it's because that arm is probably hitting the top of the door or whatever the case is. So you're going to want to make sure that you've measured all that out. You've gone back to the installation instructions. You've reviewed those. You've done a reality check to make sure you're correct. You're going to want to make sure that you use a center punch to mark your holes so that when you pre-drill the holes, that drill bit doesn't walk at all before it pierces through the steel or wood or aluminum, fiberglass, stainless, bronze, whatever you're drilling into. And then at that point, your installation is quite simple and straightforward. Now, going back to what I had said earlier about the adjustment of the arm for the hand, the nut is on the top for a right-hand door and is on the bottom for a left-hand door. So that will be your quick way to know if that's going to work for you or not. Okay? We could actually even test that to know if this is going to work. The bottom line is what we've got here is a door that, when installed, the nut is on the top of the door, is on the top right now, which is indicated for a right-hand door. But if I were to emulate using this for a left-hand door, there's no hold open friction that happens there. So you would have to flip that over for a left-hand installation. Anyway, there's only one of two ways it's going to work. So if it doesn't work for the way you've got it, flip it around. That will be the way it'll work. Very simple and straightforward. Reviewing the balance of the installation instructions, there's nothing really that calls to mind any sort of specific things to mention. I'm partial to Cal Royal as an importer of hardware. They are a comprehensive importer of very high quality hardware. And quite frankly, I've been selling their material for well over 20 years. And I have learned over those years that it is a high quality product for a very reasonable price. My client base, when they're looking for a less expensive sort of option in terms of hardware, something that they can rely on, Cal Royal is a name that they know as well. I'm partial to Cal Royal because of their customer service. They are a well-oiled machine. They're responsive, they're predictable, they're reliable, their shipping is always very good and timely, etc. I have no reservations about using Cal Royal and would recommend that you have none using their products as well. Comprehensive offering: door closers, lock sets, exit devices, hinges, builder's hardware. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can review all of their hardware. I caution you, it's a comprehensive catalog, meaning it's a large download. But if you have more than occasional need for hardware of good value, reasonable cost, familiarize yourself with their product line. If you have any questions on the Cal Royal CR3049HO hold open friction style arm for their 441 series heavy duty door closers or any other Cal Royal product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.